Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very special edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Girl MF Michael Fletcher alongside my good buddy Anthony Florio, and we are going to be recapping tonight or early this afternoon's Royal Rumble event from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, exclusively on ESPN, the online version of ESPN, or if you guys watch this internationally on Netflix. This was a tremendous event to say the very least, and we're just gonna dive right on in. We started off with the women's Royal Rumble match. Unfortunately, because I'm on location, I don't necessarily have my normal setup like I normally would have. So I'm just going to tell you who straight out won the Royal Rumble match. Anthony will be able to fill you in on all the details on, you know, eliminations and who did what in the Women's Royal Rumble. All you need to know, the winner of the 2026 Women's WWE Royal Rumble match and now is guaranteed a championship match in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium for WrestleMania will be Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan wins the Royal Rumble match for the women. First time winner for Liv. This is the first time she's won it. And, it's poetic justice. For the last, I want to say 2 years, she was the bridesmaid, never the bride. This time around, it was the charm for Liv. She's been in every single Women's Royal Rumble match since the very beginning, and she has won it. She's going to WrestleMania, and she now gets a shot. She gets to fight against whoever the champion may be. Is that Jade Cargill or going to SmackDown, or does she go after Stephanie Volker? But hold, because there is a big championship fight coming up Monday night on Raw. It will be Stephanie Volker versus Raquel Rodriguez. Titles on the line. So we'll see how that plays out. But let's talk about this Rumble because it was all over the place. We had um, great matchups, great moments in the Rumble. There was a couple of surprises. Not. I thought it was going to be some bigger surprises, but we did get Brie Bella back. Brie Mode hits the Royal Rumble, and you notice there was a major emphasis about the women's tag team division that Anthony, I gotta say, it really makes me very intrigued right now because if you think about it, you had the Bella twins reunited, good to go, looking amazing. Then you had Lyle Valkyria and Bailey going at it. Then you had the women's tag team champions, Io Sky and Rhea Ripley going at it. There was so many good things about this that I love the fact that they actually made an emphasis about the women's tag team division because it looks like there's definitely an opening there. And then you have the moments of betrayal in this Royal Rumble where Charlotte Flair eliminates. Now you can say maybe Charlotte eliminated Alexa Bliss, but to me, Anthony, I would love to get your thoughts about it. But it looked like to me, Charlotte tried to save Alexa, and it was a little too late type moment. Alexa went over, she got eliminated, and you saw the look in the eyes of Alexa. She was not happy at all at Charlotte. And you saw Charlotte felt so guilty that elimination happened. I think it was an accident to me. I think that was a major accident. Then one moment we saw Kyrie Zane actually eliminating Asuka. Asuka was in trouble. She was because it was Io Sky. Io had Asuka in a compromising position. Um, and Kyrie it looked like she was trying to eliminate Io, but Io gets out of the way, and the next thing you know, Asuka goes out of the Royal Rumble because of Kyrie Zane. Credit Kyrie. And the biggest moment in this Royal Rumble And this is going to be very talked about, Anthony. And you know where I'm going to go with this. Liv Morgan sacrifices Raquel Rodriguez in a double elimination moment, and she basically did not look apologetic about that elimination. You can tell it kind of was like a oops, sorry type moment, but you can tell in the eyes of Raquel, you bitch is what she's thinking in her mind because you just screwed me out of my dream of fighting for the title at WrestleMania. Oh, we got a lot to talk about. Anthony Floyo, come on in, bro. Liv Morgan, she's going to WrestleMania. She has won the Women's Royal Rumble match.
And I had this one, MF. I had Liv Morgan winning. If we had done the predictions last night, unfortunately things came up and we couldn't do a show last night. But had we done a show last night, Liv Morgan was my pick to win it, and I can't say I'm surprised that she did. I mean,
to be real honest with you, Anthony, I think a lot of people were picking Liv Morgan to win the Royal Rumble. There was like even like all the betting odds, all the betting sites had to Liv as like one of at least if she wasn't the overall favorite, she definitely was at least in the top three of women that could win the Royal Rumble.
Of course, absolutely. So, no problem, MF. I got you covered as always. So, it's time for me to go full on professor mode here tonight. So, okay. First things first. The time of the Rumble clocked in at an even 1 hour and 7 minutes. 1 hour and 7 minutes, the time of the fall for this Royal Rumble matchup. Entrant number 1 was Charlotte Flair. Number 2 was Alexa Bliss. I thought that was a nice little callback to the days of. Let's go back to 1989. 1989, the first 2 entrants in that Royal Rumble, Axe and Smash of Demolition. I got those vibes from that, if I'm going to be honest with you. Number 3, Kiana James. Number 4, Nia Jax. Number 5, Ivy Nile. Number 6, from NXT, Lola Vice. Number 7, Candice LeRae. Number 8, Jordynne Grace. Number 9, the Women's Intercontinental Champion, Becky Lynch. Number 10, from NXT, Sol Ruca. Number 11, Roxanne Perez. Number 12, Maxine Dupree. Number 13, she's not Natalya anymore, she's Natty. Number 14 was Liv Morgan. Number 15 was Lash Legend. Number 16 was Zelina. Number 17, Raquel Rodriguez. Number 18, Chelsea Green. Number 19, the Women's United States Champion, Julia. Number 20, Io Sky. Number 21, Asuka. Number 22, Rhea Ripley. Number 23, Bayley. Number 24, the NXT Women's Champion, Jacy Jane. Number 25, Nikki Bella. Number 26, Lyra Valkyria. Number 27, from NXT, Kalani Jordan. Number 28, Kairi Sane. Number 29, Brie Bella. Brie Bella, the Bella twins, Twin Magic, back together. And coming in at number 30 and making her return to WWE after being out for a couple months or so with injury, it was Tiffy time. It was Tiffany Stratton coming in at number 30. The Iron Woman in this match was Charlotte Flair. 59 minutes and 49 seconds, just 11 seconds short of a full hour in this match. The most eliminations was Lash Legend. Lash Legend had 5 eliminations. She eliminated Jordynne Grace. And then in an incredible stretch, down a good several minute stretch, Lola Vice, or should I say Lola Vice, Lash Legend eliminating Charlotte. She eliminated the Bella Twins, Charlotte Flair, and Io Sky. They got big plans in store for Lash Legend. You may not like Lash Legend. Some may find her annoying at times in the whole 9 yards. But her athletic ability is not to be messed with. We cannot take it for granted. And she was one of my standouts, if not my biggest standout from this Women's Royal Rumble. She is going to be If they give her more, if they let her have more shining efforts like this, there is no doubt in my mind she is going to be a big star for many years to come. Now then, as far as certain moments that happened in this matchup. All right. Several feuds, past and present, were addressed throughout the match. Eliminations started coming at regular intervals, but they kept a healthy number of competitors in the ring at any given time. This match included some fun moments, but if there is one major complaint to be had, it's that everything felt a little too rehearsed. It followed a repeating pattern of each new entrant having a short sequence of dominance before meshing with the rest of the competitors. It sounded like the crowd was enjoying themselves, but it was hard not to notice how choreographed everything was while watching on TV. It was not a bad Rumble match, but if I'm going to be honest with you, it was nowhere near the best we have seen from the women's division. It was also a little disappointing that we didn't get any surprises from AAA or TNA. It came down to a final three of Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, and Sol Ruca at the end, and they fought on the apron until Liv Morgan was the last woman standing. And I will tell you this: one of my favorite things, one of the few things I like about the Saudi shows. I love seeing the. Now I know I'm probably gonna come off sounding like a perv here, but I got to be honest. I love seeing the women in those bodysuits. They look incredible. They look absolutely incredible. And I liked a lot of the gear on most of these women, but that's a story for another day. But let's get to the business at hand here. When it comes to what I would give for a rating here, now let's keep in mind these matches are very tricky, and I do mean very tricky to rate. But in the grand scheme of things, I think I would say somewhere around the 3 to 3.5 threshold. Because I noticed for the first 40 minutes or so, or so of this match, I hate to say it was kind of on the snoozer side. It was kind of on the boring side. But then it did pick up, I want to say, the right around the final 15, 20 minutes or so. That's when the business finally picked up. That's when the crowd started to get more into it. And standouts, obviously, Lash Legend was one standout. Sol Ruca, that's another standout. I mean, they not only made Lash Legend look good, Sol Ruca, NXT, she got it. They let her stay until the final three. You remember last year, Roxanne Perez was in NXT, and they took her to the final two. She was the runner-up to Charlotte Flair a year ago. This year, Sol Ruca can say, I made it to the final three. Forget the final four. We're talking the final three. And three separate things that came out of this. First off, like I said, Charlotte and Alexa, they started 1 and 2. I was getting vibes of Demolition when they were the first two in 1989. MF and I, we went nuts just like Gorilla and Jesse did in 89. When we saw it with Charlotte and Alexa, we damn near did the same thing. We were like, whoa, we can't believe this. And I said, Alexa? And I said, oh my goddess. And that's when it all went. And then that's when it all went off. And I'm like, they're going to have to go at each other. And you're like, yeah, they're going to have to. It's every woman for themselves. But you notice they didn't. They teased it, but they didn't. Was the elimination an accident? I'm going to say yes, it was. It definitely looked accidental to me. I mean, accidents do happen. I mean, let's be realistic. I think she cared more about getting Nia Jax out, and why not? Because Nia Jax is the biggest threat of anybody in that match. You wanted to get the biggest threat out of the way. Unfortunately, it came at the expense of Alexa. And as much as I have enjoyed the partnership between these two and the frenemy-like relationship with these two, I think it's due time for a split. And I do believe that at WrestleMania, we will get a Charlotte versus Alexa match. Who will be the babyface? Who will be the heel? Time will tell. They've made Charlotte likable over these last several months. I never thought we'd see that because Charlotte has garnered so much hate from everyone in amongst the IWC. And Alexa, just so damn likable. And it's going to be very interesting to see how that dynamic turns out. As far as the Kabukis, what happened with the Kabukis? I'm going to say that was an accident also. Kairi got a little too overzealous. She eliminated Asuka. And if looks could kill, you saw the look and you heard the Kairi. Oh, Kairi's in the doghouse. And there's no question Asuka and Kairi could be on a collision course. And Monday Night on Raw on the Yellow Elf, Kairi, you better run like the Dickens, because if Asuka gets a hold of you, oh boy, girl, you in trouble. That's all I'm going to say there. And of course, last but certainly not least, Liv on Raquel. That was very much intentional. That was no accident. That was intentional. And let's keep it in mind. Raquel Rodriguez has a huge Women's World Championship match. She will be challenging Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World Championship. Philadelphia Street Fight this Monday night on Raw. What's going to happen there? What if Raquel wins the title? What if Raquel Rodriguez becomes the new Women's World Champion? We could be on a Liv versus Raquel collision course for WrestleMania. They did say, dirt sheets have been saying for the last several weeks, that Liv Morgan was going to be in some form of prominent big match at WrestleMania. This confirmed it. She wins the Women's Royal Rumble. I had this one. I'm not at all surprised that she won it. I had the feeling. I based it off of that alone. They said, well, Liv's going to be featured in a prominent match at WrestleMania. I'm like, yeah, she's going to be in a world championship match of some sort. And for that to happen, she's got to win the Rumble. And that's why I'm going with Liv to win the Rumble. And sure enough, she won the Rumble. So, not the best Rumble, but certainly not the worst. Like I said, this is right around that 3 to 3.5 threshold. Like I said, the first 40 minutes or so, the final 15, 20 or so, that's when the business picked up. And great performances. Lash Legend, Sol Ruka, those were the two biggest standouts. Great to see the Bellas back, whether you like them or you don't. And of course, those three stories that we got to keep an eye on: Charlotte and Alexa, the Kabukis, but most of all, the one that we've got to most keep our eye on, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, especially if Raquel wins the Women's World Championship this Monday night on Raw, which is very, very possible. And I would not at all be surprised if she does. So with all that, that was 3 to 3.5. So with all that being said, MF, let's move on to, well, a very emotionally charged matchup.
Yep.
A career-threatening match, just like the Nature Boy Ric Flair in 2008. The phenomenal one.
It was AJ Styles going one-on-one with we got AJ Styles going one-on-one with the ring general Gunther. Like you said, if AJ wins, his career continues. If Gunther wins, then his career is over. And unfortunately, it is over for AJ Styles. His career does come to a close in WWE. The ring general forces AJ to pass out. It's not a tap out. It wasn't a tap out like John Cena was. He passed out from the sleeper, and Gunther wins it all. He knocks off AJ Styles, and he continues his career. And AJ career does come to a close. Anthony, it is all yours, my friend.
Time of the fall, 24 minutes and 15 seconds. I got to be honest, MF, this was for me the fight of the night. This was easily 4.5 stars. One of the most anticipated matches of the weekend saw AJ Styles put his career on the line against Gunther. The Ring General won their encounter a few weeks ago in Dusseldorf, Germany on Raw, but Styles technically made him tap out first, so he was looking to make sure he put Gunther down for good this time. They paced themselves and used a lot of holds between short bursts of quicker moves. AJ was bleeding from a cut on his arm after being slammed on the announce table. From a technical standpoint, this was a fantastic match. However, there were times when it felt like they were taking it a little too slow, and it kept about from reaching its peak, which would have been the full 5, until later than expected. It didn't make a big difference, but it was noticeable. Gunther may be one of the more dominant stars on the roster, but he did a good job of making AJ Styles look like a dangerous competitor by selling for him at the right times. The longer they worked, the better the match was. They had some convincing false finishes before it finally ended with AJ passing out in the sleeper hold. It is official. The career of the Phenomenal One has come to an end. Riyadh Season Stadium was almost silent because the fans couldn't believe it. While this was not the ending we were hoping for, they still put on a stellar performance. It may have been a bit long for some, but they filled that last 10 minutes with a lot of drama. And it was hard not to notice how many empty seats were in the upper area of the stadium. It was also nice to hear Michael Cole acknowledge AJ's time in TNA as being important to his career. And AJ Styles still has one of the best drop kicks in the business. It's just as good now as it was 15 years ago. And how is this for irony? AJ Styles' first WWE match, 2016, in the Royal Rumble matchup. 10 years later, AJ Styles' final WWE match was also at the Royal Rumble. You want to talk about a bookend. Now, I've heard some rumblings. I have heard some rumblings that while AJ Styles' in-ring career in WWE is over, this is going to free him up to possibly do some work for other promotions. I've heard rumblings of him going back to TNA. And there's one man in particular who wants to wrestle AJ Styles. And that is the current TNA heavyweight champion, Mike Santana. Sign us up for that matchup should it happen. And of course, maybe we see former Fortune 4 brothers throw down, AJ Styles and Frankie Kazarian. I mean, maybe AJ Styles and Leon Slater after the moment they had at Slammiversary last summer. I mean, not only TNA, I've even heard rumblings about him possibly doing some work in New Japan. We know AJ went to New Japan, former IWGP heavyweight champion in his own right, and had those legendary battles with Shinsuke Nakamura, especially the Wrestle Kingdom where they battled for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. I mean, there's a possibility he might do some work over there. I've even heard possibilities of him maybe even showing up even in AEW. I've even heard rumblings about that as well. His in-ring career in WWE may have come to a finish, but we are never going to forget all of the exciting, wonderful moments that this man has given us in the 10 years that he was with WWE. From his debut in the Rumble to the legendary battles with John Cena, the beat-up John Cena, winning the WWE Championship 8 months after he debuted when he knocked off Dean Ambrose at Backlash, and winning that title again overseas in England, beating Jinder Mahal and holding that thing for over a year. That year-long title reign before Bryan Danielson and Daniel Bryan ended it. And the list of matches, you know, John Cena, Daniel Bryan, Brock Lesnar, you know, just to name a few, Kevin Owens. I mean, they had some great battles for the U.S. Championship, mainly in the summer of 2017. Those were some fun matches. And he had a lot of great moments in WWE, and I for one, I mean, we're all saddened, but everyone knows that I'm a big AJ Styles mark, especially in the days in TNA when he was with the Fortune 4. And right here tonight, we're going to throw it up Fortune 4 style for the phenomenal AJ Styles and say thank you for an incredible career in WWE. So AJ, on behalf of all of us here at Talking Wrestling TXN, we want to simply say thank you for the memories, thank you for the inspiration, and most of all, thank you for the phenomenal AJ Styles. These last 10 years in WWE, simply phenomenal. And we're all saddened by it. I'm saddened by it. I know, but I know MF's got to be big time saddened by it, because let's not forget, AJ Styles was the frontline soldier. He was the heart and soul of his show, SmackDown, back when it was known as SmackDown Live. I mean, it's Friday Night SmackDown now, but when it was SmackDown Live, AJ Styles was the heart and soul of that show. When he says that it was the house that AJ Styles built, darn tootin' it was. So, great career. His WWE career may have come to a finish, but like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up in TNA. I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up in New Japan. I wouldn't even be surprised if he showed up in AEW. I wouldn't be. I thought it was going to be a year-long retirement tour, just like we saw with John Cena last year. But it's not going to be with one company. I think it's going to be with a handful of them. So enjoy your retirement, AJ. You deserve it. You've given us 25 years of memories from TNA to WWE, New Japan, you name it. I mean, thank you for everything, brother. You simply are phenomenal. No doubt about it. Throw it up Fortune 4 style, my friends, for this incredible performer. Absolutely incredible. Well, great career. But as the saying goes, the show must go on, and go on it will. 4.25 to 4.5 stars. For me, this was the fight of the night. Gunther now adds another victim. He can now say, I retired Bill Goldberg, I retired John Cena, and now I've retired AJ Styles. Holy hell. He is. And who knows? There could be more to come. Who knows? So, in closing, MF, before I give it to you here, when it comes to AJ Styles, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when he gets his keys to the WWE Hall of Fame. 4.25, 4.5. MF, I mean, we're all gutted, but I know you're especially gutted, especially after those 2-3 years or so of incredible service he gave to you in SmackDown Live.
Yeah, absolutely. This one was a stunner because I did not think AJ was going to lose today. I thought, honestly, AJ was going to win the match. I thought he was going to, continue his career. I thought his career was probably going to end at like WrestleMania or something. But for it to end at the Royal Rumble and to end the way that it did, I mean, it was a gut wrench. I was just like the reaction that the fans had was the reaction that I had. Just pure shock and just like, did this just really happen? What the hell? And yeah, it did. So yeah, I'm with you on the 4.25, 4.5. I thought it was a great fight. It was a great matchup. Gunther does get the win and he moves on. And for AJ, it's like you said, I believe he'll be back in TNA. I think if anything, I think he's gonna want to go back to TNA and maybe finish his career there. Because like you said, I think WWE, yeah, he can't come back. TNA is the most logical. And then yes, obviously, there's been talks about New Japan. I think he definitely will come back to Japan. Who knows? We might even see him in AAA too. You never know. He could end up in AAA as well because he had a time where he actually did spend a little bit in Mexico. So It's possible. You never know what you're going to get. But yeah, I think you're going to get to see a lot of different things. This was an incredible match. Um, and we're just going to move right on along. Next up, we had was the bout for the WWE Championship. It was Sami Zayn going one-on-one with Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre wins it. He successfully defends the WWE title. And another solid matchup. Look, it was there was one of those moments where it looked like Sammy had it, and Drew just kicked it to a second gear. He hit him with two claymores, and that was it. It was fight over from there. Drew now on the path of on the road to WrestleMania, and he's clearly on the path with the WWE Championship in his grasp. And we're gonna have to wait and see how it plays out. But at the end of the day, solid matchup. I would give this about maybe three and a quarter. So Anthony, nothing more to say. Drew successfully defends the title. It's yours.
Time of the fall here, 16 minutes and 15 seconds. Slight disagreement here, MF. I think you underscored it a little bit. I'm going to give this between 3.5 to 3.75 of a star. Going into this bout, Drew McIntyre had an 11-0 record against Sami Zayn, so Sami was an even bigger underdog than usual. As expected, the underdog from the underground was the overwhelming fan favorite. McIntyre tried to assert his dominance right away, but Sami did not let him have the upper hand for too long. Much like Styles and Gunther, they paced themselves and took their time working up to the big stuff, but they didn't take it quite as slow. They were getting near falls much earlier in the match than expected. These two always work well together, so there was never any doubt this would be an entertaining match. Sami kicked out of a few of Drew's finishers, including 3 future shock DDTs in succession, which helped keep the outcome from being as predictable as it may have appeared at first. McIntyre won and successfully defended the title as expected, but there were moments when it felt like Sami Zayn might actually win the title, which always helps make a match more enjoyable. And I thought the show had so much filler between matches that you could chop out at least half an hour from the replay and nobody would notice. The announcers noted that Sami going into this was undefeated in Saudi 4-0. Well, not anymore. Sami is great at selling with his facial expressions, and the power bomb through the table looked really good. Sami sold it perfectly. Like I said, this was a 3.5 to 3.75 star match. And no surprise with the outcome. We all knew Drew was going to retain the title here. It would have been a major disservice to take the title off of Drew after winning it a few weeks ago in Berlin in that 3 stages of hell. I believe he will go into WrestleMania as the champ, and I'll have more on that in a little bit when it comes to the men's Royal Rumble match, because there was definitely a tie-in to that. And Sami, it may not have been Sami's night tonight, but rest assured, if it's not this year, I believe it will be next year, where Sami Zayn will finally get his moment. Because let's not forget, next year, WrestleMania 43 will be in Saudi Arabia. I don't think it will be in this Riyadh season stadium. But then again, I wouldn't be surprised if they put it there. And I'll have more to say on that in the overall review. I believe they should use that stadium that they used for the very first show they did, which was that Greatest Royal Rumble in 2018. That's the stadium I think they should use for Mania next year. That's just my opinion, but we'll see what they do. But the point I'm trying to make here is this. WrestleMania 43 next year, if Sami Zayn is challenging for either the WWE Championship or even the World Heavyweight Championship, Sami Zayn will get his World Championship moment. I think they're saving it for next year, WrestleMania 43 in Saudi. I believe that's the night where Sami will finally get his long overdue World Championship moment. He will win either the World Heavyweight Championship or the WWE Championship. Don't worry, Sami fans, he'll get his moment. Just not this year. I think we need to wait till next year. The old wait till next year. So 3.5, 3.75 for me. So not much more. MF, Drew McIntyre successfully defending the WWE Championship. 16 minutes, 15 seconds. Not Sami's time this year, but next year, Mania 43, I believe it will be.
Yeah, I'll go with the 3.5. I think you definitely got it. And like I said, it was a solid matchup, and it does lead us to the main event of the evening, the men's Royal Rumble matchup. And well, it was all over the place. We had a lot of chaos in the match, but it ended up with only the one, the OTC. Roman Reigns wins the Royal Rumble. He's going to WrestleMania. He gets to fight for a championship of his choosing. That means either CM Punk or Drew McIntyre are going to have eyes in the back of their heads, because Roman Reigns gets to main event yet another WrestleMania. He wins it, and my goodness, what a Rumble this was. And it started out with a little bit of controversy. Yeah, because it started out right out of the gate. We had Oba Femi coming in at number 1. Number 2 was Braun Breaker, but Braun basically got jumped before even the match even started. A hooded assailant came out of nowhere and beat down Braun Breaker, got him thrown into the ring, and then Oba dispatched Braun Breaker, sending Mr. Paul Heyman into a livid tizzy. Anthony Florio, I was even I know you even went nuts because of the elimination, saying how fair is that, MF? What the heck is that? You know that's an illegal elimination. How could you justify something like that? Well, let's just say I had my moment later on when Cody Rhodes got eliminated by Drew McIntyre with the Claymore, and that, oh my God, did I go off on that? Anthony Florio had to hold me back with that moment. So, yes, we had everything in this one. Anthony Florio, the OTC, Roman Reigns wins the 2026 Men's Royal Rumble match. He is going to WrestleMania.
And I had this as well. If we had done the show last night, I'll be honest with you. This is what I would have said if we had done the show last night. And I told this to Michael Bullock, because Bullock and I had a brief chat earlier. My gut would have gone with Roman Reigns. My heart would have gone with Braun Breaker. It was definitely between those two. But I can't. But once what happened to Breaker happened, I'm like, oh, it's Roman. It's going to be Roman's to lose now. And sure enough. Okay, Men's Royal Rumble clocked in at 56 minutes and 10 seconds. And here's the order of entry. As MF mentioned the first two. Number 1, formerly of NXT, now on the main roster, Oba Femi. Number 2 was Braun Breaker. Number 3, one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions, the leader of the MFT, Solo Sikoa. Number 4, Rey Mysterio. Number 5, Rusev. Number 6, Matt Cardona. Number 7, Damian Priest. Number 8, Javon Evans. Number 9, MF, your boy from AAA, Mr. Iguana, along with La Yeska. Number 10, Trick Williams. Number 11, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Number 12, the current El Grande Americano, who we all know is Ludwig Kaiser. Right behind him at number 13, the original El Grande Americano, a.k.a., yes, he's back, Chad Gable. And did you see how jacked Chad Gable looks now? He looks incredible, Chad Gable. I think that's a name we need to keep an eye on in 2026 for sure. Number 14. Now, here's the thing. The women's match didn't have that many surprises. We had a few more surprises. We actually had some and then some in this men's rumble. And this was the big one here. Formerly of AEW, he was known as Powerhouse Hobbs. He is now known as Royce Keys. Royce Keys, the former Powerhouse Hobbs. He was number 14. Number 15, Austin Theory. Number 16, Bronson Reed. Number 17, Ilya Dragunov. Number 18, also from AAA, the current incarnation of one of the greatest luchadors of all time, going back to his days in WCW, La Parka. La Parka was number 18. 19, Dragon Lee. Number 20, Logan Paul. Number 21, making his return from injury, the megastar, L.A. Knight. Yeah. Number 22, the alpha male of our species, the beast incarnate, as he announced on the Pat McAfee show when he called into that during the week, Brock Lesnar. And notice, Paul Heyman was in Brock Lesnar's corner. Number 23, The Miz. Number 24, Rey Fenix. Number 25, last year's Royal Rumble winner, main event Jey Uso. Yeet. Number 26, the eventual winner, the Tribal Chief, the original Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. Number 27, the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu. Number 28 was Penta. Number 29, Randy Orton. And at number 30, it was the Ring General Gunta. I don't know who the Iron Man was. I don't have any information on that. But what I can confirm is the most eliminations, tied with 5 eliminations each, Roman Reigns and Oba Femi.
Oba was the Iron Man.
I kind of figured he was. He lasted over 40 minutes. That's the only thing I do remember from it. But yes, this was, I got to say, this was a smidgen better than the women's match, but let me get into this first. Men's Royal Rumble, of course, the main event. We started with Paul Heyman and General Manager Adam Pearce arguing during the kickoff, during the countdown show about who had to start the match. Oba Femi drew number 1. Braun Breaker was about to enter at number 2. He was attacked by a man in a hood. The attacker hit a curb stomp, which made everyone assume it was Seth Rollins. I'm going to tell you something right now. That's not Seth Rollins. I read a very interesting, I came across some interesting comments on social media. And a lot of those comments suggested that the master assailant was Adam Pearce. I'm going to say that right now. If it's Adam Pearce, I am going to mark the F out if it's him. That would be freaking awesome. Because everybody knows here on this show, well documented, how much I respect and appreciate Adam Pearce. I mean, I didn't get a chance. I didn't really follow his wrestling career. MF, I know you followed his wrestling career when he was in Ring of Honor. I know you know about his career very well. But if it's Adam Pearce, I'm not only going to have a laugh riot, but I'm going to mark out. But we'll see what happens. I mean, or maybe it wasn't Adam Pearce. I don't know, but it's not Rollins. At least I don't think it's Rollins. I mean, if it was Rollins, I wouldn't be surprised because let's not forget, back in October, Columbus Day, it was the Monday Night Raw in Australia, where Braun Breaker and the Vision turned on Seth Rollins, and that would likely set up a likely Mania match with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. I don't know if I doubt it was theory. I don't think it was theory, but my theory is, and according to some of the wild comments on social media, I think the masked man was Adam Pearce, given the recent tension between him and Braun Breaker. If it's him, oh my God, that's going to be so funny. All right. The Ruler eliminated the first 5 men before Damian Priest showed up, offered him a real fight. Ring started filling up, and by the time we got to 20 men having entered the ring, 11 were still active. Cody Rhodes was close to saving himself from elimination when Drew McIntyre showed up out of nowhere to deliver a Claymore that eliminated him from the match. Now, MF, you talk about me having to hold you back. If Michael Bullock was here right now, we'd have to hold him back because you know how Michael Bullock is when it comes to what I call asterisk eliminations in a Royal Rumble or Battle Royal.
Oh, yeah. And this would have been a huge asterisk.
But thankfully, there was only one. This was the only instance. Because I didn't recall seeing anything like that in the women's Rumble match. I didn't see anything like that.
No, in the women's, there was accidental mistakes, but yeah, we never had like a blatant cheating interference of an elimination. No,
because we know how Bullock is about this, and Bullock even mentioned it to me during our SmackDown chat last night. We talked about this in a little detail. What grinds his gears, and I'll be honest, it kind of grinds my gears a little bit too. Asterisk eliminations. That means that's when it comes to asterisk eliminations, what that means is it's when a competitor, it's when anyone involved in a Royal Rumble or Battle Royal gets eliminated by somebody who's either not involved in the match, who's either not in the match, or by someone who's already been eliminated from the match. And Drew McIntyre, he checks off the boxes. Well, he checked off the box known as not involved in the match. Drew McIntyre was not a legal participant in this match, so that would constitute an asterisk elimination. But like I said, this is the only instance where it happened. So, but still, I mean, Bullock will probably, if he was here, he'd be losing his marbles right now, and not in a good way. Let's see here. Jacob Fatu was distracted by this, and it allowed Roman Reigns to eliminate him. Oba Femi and Javon Evans, I thought, both had strong performances in this match. They were my standouts, but neither made it to the final four. The ruler lasted longer than most of the others and tied Roman Reigns for the most eliminations, so he is looking strong heading into his main roster push. Final four were Logan Paul, Roman Reigns, Gunther, and Randy Orton. They took a moment to reset when it came down to just them in the ring. They paired off, and Logan Paul, the first to get eliminated by Roman Reigns. The final two, and then of course, Gunther eliminates Randy Orton, and that leaves the Tribal Chief and that ain't General as the final two. And when it was all said and done, Roman Reigns eliminates Gunther to win and earn the WrestleMania title shot. Having Roman Reigns win was not the most exciting decision, but the match as a whole was fun. A lot of deserving superstars got some time to shine, and several storylines were referenced or advanced. It might not have been the ending we wanted, but it could have been much worse. And booking Oba Femi to look so strong in what was his main roster debut was smart. He will be a top star if he continues to look this good, just like Lash Legend did in the women's match. Trick Williams got a nice reaction for his entrance. WWE introducing Royce Keys as Powerhouse Hobbs before revealing the name change is kind of interesting, but it's mostly a weird decision. Michael Cole was trying to avoid mentioning AEW when Cody Rhodes and Royce Keys interacted. Keys didn't spend as much time in the ring as expected for his debut. The standoff between Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar was a fun moment. And Jey Uso's entrance took so long that by the time his music stopped, Roman Reigns was ready to come out next. I thought this was a little bit better than the Women's Rumble match. I would say somewhere around 3.5 to 4. I think that would be the correct rating for this. And Roman winning, I got to say, somewhat predictable, if I'm going to be honest with you. At first, I thought maybe Oba. I thought Oba was getting that rocket push. And Oba was the standout. I mean, he had what was called the infamous Diesel spot. The Diesel spot going back to the 1994 Royal Rumble right here in Rhode Island, in Providence, when Diesel was eliminating guys one by one. And for the first few minutes of the match, that's what Oba did. I mean, Oba had the Diesel spot for quite a while. And you thought Oba was a big star in NXT. He is going to be a mega star in WWE. It will not be long before he becomes a champion. I think the world title is a bit of a push right now. I think it's a little too soon for that, but I believe he will be, depending on which show he goes to, he will be either an Intercontinental or United States champion before very long. A year or two, I believe he'll be the WWE or World Heavyweight Champion, depending on where he goes. But let me tell you, that young man is going to be a star. You want to talk about future WrestleMania main eventers? There's another one right there. WrestleMania main eventer. You watch. And he looked great. Javon Evans looked great. He had some time to shine in there as well. And I'll be honest. I thought the final two was going to be Roman and Cody. I thought Roman and Cody were going to be the final two, and then Roman, and then you could have given Roman the win back from WrestleMania 40 when Cody finished the story. So, but nonetheless, solid Rumble. I mean, just like with the women, not the greatest, but not the worst either. But I thought this men's match was a little better than the women's, mainly because there were a few more surprises than there were in the women's match. But 3.5 to 4, somewhat of a predictable outcome. But you noticed the fans in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, were a lot more receptive to Roman winning than the other time Roman won the Rumble. You remember Philly, the Yellow Delph, they booed him out of the building when he won it in 15. Even with The Rock, even with Cousin Rock out there, that still didn't do enough. This time around, the fans were way more receptive to Roman winning. Does he go after Drew? I don't think so. Because I'm hearing when it comes to the SmackDown main event, the plan is Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, Jacob Fatu in a triple threat for the WWE Championship. Which means by process of elimination, I believe Roman's going to leave SmackDown. Roman's going to go to Raw, and he's going to go after CM Punk, and he's going to go after the World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, he's already held the WWE Championship. We remember the Mega Reign. I mean, that was literally the reign of terror right there. The 1,316 days he put that thing on a stranglehold, and damn near put it under lock and key. But this time around, I believe he's going to go to Raw, and he's going to go after CM Punk and the World Heavyweight Championship. And I believe at WrestleMania that the Tribal Chief will take back his throne, and he will be the man once again. He will be the next heavyweight champion of the world come WrestleMania. 3.5 to 4, not much more. MF, 56 minutes, 10 seconds, the time of the men's Royal Rumble match. Little bit better than the women's, mainly because there were more surprises than there were in the women's match. But Roman winning, that was no big surprise. I'm not at all surprised by that outcome. And 56-10, all yours.
Yeah, this was like you said, this was a solid Royal Rumble match. Yeah, the biggest star that came out of it was Femi. There's no doubt about it. Everybody, even a few of my Discord friends, a lot of people that I know that I've been talking to since the Royal Rumble event, and they're all saying the same thing. They're not mad. They think Oba's going to be a big star, and a lot of people were so excited. I think we were a little shocked that Oba got the number 1 spot. I think that kind of was a little bit out of right field, but trust me, man, the minute he went in, he instantly got the Diesel spot. He was the Iron Man of the Royal Rumble and did a tremendous performance. No shade in the game, as we like to say. He definitely stood out, and yeah, the future is so bright. I guess the $1 million question is he going to be Raw? Is he going to be SmackDown? And good luck to anybody whoever gets this guy on their brand. So this was amazing, and there's really nothing more to say. This was a fun Royal Rumble event. Not the greatest Rumble as a whole, but it was still a fine event. I think they did a really good job with it. So I'll give it 7 out of 10. I thought like I said, I thought it was a fine Royal Rumble. Anthony, you got the final word, and then we'll call it for the night.
First thing is first when it comes to this. I got to give credit where credit is due to the construction workers who, let me tell you something. Not even right around about a month ago or so, that area that they were in tonight was a parking lot. Was a parking lot. And in the span of a little more than 3 weeks or so, they got that thing built up and ready to go. Craziness. I still can't get over that. I can't. Credit to all of those who worked tirelessly and diligently to get that thing from a parking lot to a 25,000 or so seat stadium in a span of 3 to 4 weeks.
And remember, we were poking fun. We were like, wait a minute. How are they going to do this? Don't they have arenas or stadiums or something like that? And we were literally poking fun at WWE, saying, Are there, is there even an arena available for them for Rumble? And then we started hearing about construction, and we're like, oh my god, this is not going to be done in time. And oh boy, were we wrong.
3 to 4 weeks. I mean, like I said earlier, I thought maybe they would have used the stadium that they used when they did the greatest Royal Rumble in 2018, the very first show they did over there. But I believe they might be saving that for WrestleMania next year. That's just my guess, but we'll see. Anyways, the 2026 Royal Rumble might not go down in history as a bad show, but it won't be considered one of the top 10 Rumbles either. Liv Morgan winning the women's Royal Rumble match was probably the least predictable outcome of the night, but even that pick was not out of left field. Having AJ Styles end his WWE career in Saudi Arabia was a strange choice, and while the match was great, it's hard to believe this farewell will be looked upon fondly. Drew McIntyre retaining the WWE Championship against Sami Zayn was the most obvious outcome of the night, even if the challenger winning would have been unexpected and a career-making moment for him. Roman Reigns is still one of the top draws in WWE, but his inconsistent schedule makes it hard to get invested in his road to WrestleMania journey unless he is going to be here most weeks. This show had plenty of fun moments and gave a handful of superstars a spotlight they can carry forward into their main roster pushes, so it had its positives as well. I'm with you. I think 7, maybe 7.5 out of 10. I think that's the best I can go for the 2026 Royal Rumble. So hopefully they will not do Saudi again next year. Well, obviously they're not going to do Saudi again next year because Mania is going to be there. So I think it should be back in the States, and it'll probably be back in a baseball stadium or a football stadium or something. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm sure it'll be back here next year. So, and I believe that we'll probably get a better show out of that. So 7.5 out of 10. That's all I can say. So there isn't much more to say. Good old MF Michael Fletcher. Take us home and hit us up with that future content if you would.
All right, and then we're going to be doing this. So on Tuesday night, we're back at it again with Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio. We're going to have Monday Night Raw, the fallout from the Royal Rumble, and we're going to have an NXT as we will crown a new NXT champion on this episode. And then on Friday, a very special edition of TXN Sports World as we will be previewing Super Bowl 60, the New England Patriots versus the Seattle Seahawks. And we will also have the results from the NFL honors that will be going down on that Thursday night. And then, obviously, 1 week from tonight, we will have another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. It'll be us here. We're going to have, obviously, TNA and SmackDown Live for that week. So, guys, that is it. We are done. Until then, until Tuesday night, this is Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Flair saying so long, everybody, and have a good night.
Goodbye.